Good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here
Baba,
today. Can you all hear me? Can you all
Yes,
hear
sir,
me,
we can
sir?
hear you, sir. Yes,
Beautiful.
sir, we are with you, sir.
All
yes,
right. Once again,
yes,
good
yes,
evening,
can hear
everyone.
you.
It's truly an honor to be here today, and I want to begin by expressing my heartfelt, gratitude to the Ayo Lawal Foundation, for this gracious invitation and the founder, the organizing team, for creating such a impactful, platform. Thank you for the vision behind the mentorship program and a space to empower minds, nurture purpose, and build, the next generation of leaders. I'm deeply honored to share in this moment, and I believe that everyone here will gain something in this place. Like my profile has gone on. My name is Paul Briggs, and what will I have to say? I've been in this business, of counseling for quite a long time, and God has helped me. Let me just go straight into it, so we can, because of time, we are all coming from different quarters, so let us go straight into what we want to talk about today. Today, I want to try and talk about building healthy connections. Why is this very important? This is critical because you will understand that, you can go to the best of schools, go to the, get a lot of certifications, but if we don't know how to build healthy connections, there will be something lacking in our lives that won't get us to the next level of our life. Building healthy connections is very powerful and is very primal to our success in life, in our profession, in our relationships, in our marital life. It is so important. And if you see most of the prominent individuals, even in this country, you will understand something that's very important about them. They always build on relationships. Relationships to them is very valuable. In fact, their currency is relationships. Every prominent individual, wealthy, if you can actually put that as well, their currency is not the naira. Their currency is their relationship. They don't play with their relationships. And I want to beg you, you are going to gain something here today. And so quickly, I'm not going to run through the slides, and we all can just follow. Now, relationship doesn't just succeed by accident. No, they thrive by intention, design, and consistent investment, whether in friendships, professional networks, romantic relationships, or marriage connections. Connections is oxygen. It is oxygen. And just like oxygen, you don't notice it's important until it's missing. You don't notice it's important until it's missing. Once you can't breathe in very well oxygen, then something is going to go wrong. Now, today's conversation is about building healthy connections through 5 timeless pillars, which I call ACT-RS. ACT-RS, which stands for A, awareness, self-awareness, and emotional maturity. C is for communication. The T is trust. The R is respect. And the S is support, friendship, and support systems. This is so key. ACT-RS. Now, I did this in an acronym so you can remember this, tomorrow. We can remember it. When you remember ACT-RS, you know what it all stands for. Can we just move the slide? All right. Can we move the slide? Thank you, moderator. All right. So now the theme here is become a person who acts right to thrive strong in relationships. The theme again is become a person. That is, this entire forum is for you to become a person that acts right to thrive strong in relationships. Now, these are not mere married lessons. They are life principles that shape how we show up, build influence, nurture love, and grow together in purpose and destiny. All right, let's move slide. Let's move slide. I have about 58 slides, so I want to try and run this thing quickly. Now, the first one is awareness, self-awareness, and emotional maturity. Let's go on. Let's go on. This is the first place we start with. It is you. Now, let me give you some quotes. Aristotle says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. John C. Maxwell says, you must know yourself to grow yourself. If you don't know yourself, then there's a problem. That is the first place we start with. Peter Drucker says, follow effective action with quiet reflection. From the quiet reflection will come even more effective action. Can you see that there? These people are prominent individuals, and the first thing they came to realize is we must get to a place where we know ourselves. A lot know themselves, and they are trying to be someone else. This is the problem. When you try to be someone else, you are only a copy. You can't be an original. And so the first place to start with is first knowing yourself, self-awareness. All right, let's move to the slide itself. All right. Okay, can we just move the slide? Thank you. Now, before you can build strong relationships with others, you must first build a strong relationship with yourself. You must first build a strong relationship with yourself. You cannot give what you do not have. And that's the honest truth. You can't. If you haven't built yourself over time, there is nothing to give to somebody else. There's nothing to give to another person, because people come to you for what they want to get. People come to you for various reasons, some for what they want to get from you and all that. So you must first build enough food to feed people. And you cannot expect stability in connection when there is chaos within. When there is chaos within you, you can't build any stable relationship in any way. If not, you will become a leech, or you will become a parasite in relationships. Now, self-awareness is the ability to understand your emotions, your motivations, your triggers, your wounds, and patterns. Emotional maturity, henceforth, is the discipline to manage them wisely. Manage what wisely? To manage your emotions, your motivations, your triggers, your wounds, and your patterns. Now, healthy relationships begin with self-mastery, not with finding the perfect person. It first starts with self-mastery. You have to first master yourself first. Before you start, you have to first be the right person and not begin to find Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. You must be the right person, because questions come in like this: how can I find the right person? The question is, are you the right person? You must be the right individual before you can now actually find, because like attracts like. Like attract you attract your kind. That's the honest truth. All right, let's move on. All right, so there are key components under self-awareness. The first one is emotion. Now, what is this? Emotional awareness means identifying what you feel and why you feel it. It is identifying what you feel and why you feel it. Can you name your emotions accurately? Do you understand what triggers you? And can you differentiate between past wounds and present realities? Now, this is what emotions is all about. It's about you understanding, what you are feeling and why are you feeling what you are feeling. Emotions are messengers. Understand this. Our emotions are messengers, not dictators. They shouldn't dictate your life, but they are a message to you that something is happening here. When you understand them, you lead your emotions instead of letting emotions lead you. Now, I will give you a vivid example. If you are in the bus and then the conductor is shouting at you, if you begin to shout back at the conductor has pressed your remote control button. In other words, he's the one controlling you now, because he controlled you by making you shout. So, and you're not meant to allow, because when he shout at you, these people didn't go to school, they don't have any clinical, they have no knowledge of certain things. But when you actually begin to shout back at them, you being an educated person, it means they are controlling you now. They are now controlling you, no longer you controlling them. They've controlled and pressed your mumu button. Sorry for using that word, but that's what it means. All right, let's go on with this slide. So you're not meant to actually, when they shout at you, you don't shout back, because you're meant to be in control of your emotions. Now, it's not what you feel that destroys relationships, it's how you express what you feel. It's how you express what you feel. And that this is second component, which is managing your reactions. Emotional maturity is seen in your ability to do what? Pause before responding, one. Communicate instead of exploding or withdrawing. A lot of people you are here. Choose wisdom over impulse, and take responsibility instead of blaming others. And this is what we do. If you ever have read the Bible before, you notice that Adam did that. He blamed. He started the blame game. And a lot of times we go here, we blame rather than take responsibility. Uncontrolled reactions build walls. It builds walls. Regulated responses build trust. And get that, uncontrolled reaction build walls, whereby regulated responses build trust. In other words, when maturity isn't the absence of emotions, it's the mastery over their expression. When you have the ability to master your emotions, man, you are getting to a certain place where trust can be built. Let's go on. All right, the second component is heal, grow, and mature. Unhealed wounds bleed into innocent relationships. This is where a lot of us get into. We are wounded, we begin to allow Peter pay for the sins of Paul. And this will happen, or allow, Susan pay for the sins of Sandra. And this is usually what happens. Unhealed wounds bleed into innocent relationships. What is unprocessed becomes repeated. What is unprocessed becomes repeated. And I saw this in my life, growing up, because my dad was he was always having these anger situations and all that. And I realized that as I grew, and because of certain things that he did, that got me to a place where I, was broken, and I didn't like my dad for many things that he did. But one thing came strong to me while I began a journey on this. I didn't realize that, whatever you are angry or you hate, you become. Whatever you hate, you become it. I started seeing myself beginning to, release these same attributes. Why? Because there were unhealed wounds that were there. Now, this pillar calls you to do what? To confront painful childhood patterns. There are painful childhood patterns that we have in our lives. Many of us, maybe we have been raped before, or somebody abused you, or something happened to you, and we haven't confronted these patterns. They are building up into a place of destroying you. We need to break cycles instead of continuing them, and then forgive where it is needed. If we don't forgive, we continue the cycle of what hurt you in the first place. Then we need to seek growth through learning, prayer, therapy, which is important, and then, of course, community. And that's why you are in this community today, and that's why this community is so important for you. The Ayo Lawal community is so important for you to be in, because you're going to hear people's stories, you're going to hear things that can help you. Are you with me? Now, healing is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of courage and responsibility. Growth is intentional, not automatic. Maturity is a journey, not an event. So this part is so important, because you know why? A lot of us actually have been wounded. We've been wounded so badly by maybe people that were close to us, maybe our fathers or our uncles or some person in our life that was dear to us, wounded us so badly. And the honest truth that we are still carrying that wound, and we haven't healed from that wound. And that wound has, transpired into many attributes that we have today in life. And many of the ways you portray in life is as a result of when you see someone that is always hitting on people, or being so condescending on people. Listen to me, please. That individual is going through some wounds. There are wounds there they haven't healed from. That's why they can condescend on any other person, or they can be very harsh on people, because there are hidden wounds that have not been dealt with yet. Now, what this? The level of relationship you experience is often a reflection of the level of healing you have embraced. Did you see that the level of relationship you experience is often a reflection of the level of healing you have embraced? Let's go on with this slide. Let's go on. Woo. God help me. Let's move on. Now, why does this matter? I just had to put this here because without self-awareness, emotional maturity, communication becomes a conflict, trust becomes fragile, respect becomes conditional, friendship becomes draining, marriage becomes a battlefield instead of a blessing. And with them, your love, you love from wholeness, not survival. You partner with purpose, not insecurity. You build unity, not power struggles, and you bring peace, not emotional storms. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Let's move on. I'm sure you are wondering why am I this fast. I need to be fast so we can get to the question and answer part, which is very important. Now, there are reflective questions you can ask yourself, and this is it. Do I know my triggers and my blind spots? Do I communicate feelings or punish people with silent anger? If you do that, we need to check that. Am I healing or hiding? Am I reacting from my past or responding in my present? And am I becoming the person a healthy relationship requires? Are you becoming that? These are questions you need to ask yourself in your mind. Let's move to the next C. Let's move to the next one. C is communication. Communication is so important. Can we move the slide? Thank you. Communication is so important. Now look at this quote by George Bernard Shaw. He said the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. This is so powerful. I can't stay on this. It's too heavy. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Some people feel they communicated and you did not communicate at all. You just made noise or made sound, rather. Now look at what Peter Drucker said. He said the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. And many people are talking to you, but you're not hearing in between the lines. This is the issue. And that's why you're not getting the message. Look at another one by Ernest Hemingway. She said this: when people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. This is very important. Most people never listen. Let's move on this slide. Let's move this slide. Yeah. So communication, I need to give a definition because some things have been added over the years. Communication is a sending and receiving of information and can be one-on-one or between groups of people, like we are communicating right now. And can be face-to-face or through communication devices. That was added because now many people don't communicate face-to-face. It is through devices like we're doing right now. So communication requires a sender, the person who initiates communication, to transfer their thoughts or encode a message. I can use that, encode a message. For those that are actually into digital works or you're into, there is an encoding that happens in communication, and what did happen? The message is sent to the receiver, a person who receives the message and finally do what receive and must decode. So communication is codes putting into a particular thing from words and sent to a messenger or to a receiver. The receiver now decodes. You must now decode what the message is, because a lot of times you must hear what they are not saying. For example, let me give you something. When a woman, or rather when women say, I don't have any cloth to wear, listen to me. It's not that she doesn't have any cloth to wear. She's saying, I don't have any new clothes to wear. She's saying, I don't have any new cloth to wear. When a man says, I don't have any cloth to wear, he's not saying he doesn't have any cloth to wear. He said, I don't have any clean cloth to wear. So you can see in those two messages, there is saying, but you must decode what they are saying. You must decode what they are saying that they're not saying. Now, this sounds simple enough, but it can be very complicated. I'm telling you, you must be able to decode. That's why a lot of times somebody is talking to you, you're not picking what they're saying. They are saying something deeper. You ask your wife, for those that are probably married, you ask your wife, are you okay? She says she's fine. Don't think that she's just fine. Listen to me, there's more to that I'm fine. Or there's more to it. There's something in between. She says you need to settle down, calm down, be patient, and ask certain questions that will trigger out certain things. All right, let's move this slide. I'm looking at my time. I can stay on this for a while. Now look at this diagram flow, which I put here on, and this is very important. There is the sender, there is the encoding, there is a message, then the message goes and the receiver decodes. You have to unravel the code. that is in that message. Because if you can't ravel the code in that message, you will miss out on it, on what the person is really and truly saying. Can we move slides? Let's move the slide now. Let's move the slide now. Now, there are two adages which you must keep in mind when it comes to communication. One, you can't not communicate. In other words, we are always communicating, even subconsciously. Whether you like it or not, you are communicating. Everything you are doing about you is communicating something. Your entire body is your eyes is communicating, your nose is communicating, your lips is communicating, your hand, your body is communicating. I will show you that very soon. Secondly, you can't take back what you communicated once it's been set out in the world or in the universe. In other words, be careful how and what you communicate, because it's gone out. I mean, if you ever tell somebody you are a non-entity, that is a communication form. Now that word will stay with that person for a long time, and it will never leave that person's mind. I'm telling you. So we must be careful what we say to people. Now, communication types varies. First of all, we have the verbal, which is what we say. The non-verbal, of course, that is what you don't say, but you are saying. Then you have the visual, which is social media, which we're doing right now. And then the written and active listening. The written is what we used to do then. We used to write love letters and all that to your friends and all that. But that still is on. But you see, it's not much as taken by the social media today. And then, of course, we have the active listening. It's a powerful communication style. Active listening. A lot of times, white ladies get swept away because they find someone that listens more than talks. And this is really what we must get. People love to be listened to. People love to be listened to. I've come to realize that as a counselor, because as a counselor, we really don't talk too much. We don't talk, we hardly talk. We have to be quiet and really listen to what they are saying. And this is what I'm listening up on. They're listening. Everybody. Let me be slide. Let me be slide. Okay, so this is the science of communication. A research in 1971 by Albert Mehrabian undertook a research on communication and found this: words carry only 7%. Your word, what you say, carries only 7%. Your tone of voice accounts for 38% overall message. Your tone. And then your body language is 55%. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine your body language carries 55%? So that's why I said you are always communicating. Never ever think you are not communicating. The way you sit, the way your posture is communicating a lot to the person that is right in front of you. And even today now, you know, there are people that are actually now studying writings, and they study people that write, and they can tell you categorically that this person that wrote this thing was writing this thing from the point of depression, or they are writing this thing from a point of, you know, an emotion, because they can, from their writing, they can decipher what emotions they had at the time they were writing it. All right, this is so important for us to understand, because now you know why somebody is always getting angry. Because your tone is not right. Your tone is not right. Your tone is not right. And you see, I can call three names and I can call it in three various ways. If I call these three names in various ways, it will mean different things to you. Let me just drop that example here. For example, for someone here that is a like an Anthony. An Anthony is here, I know an Anthony. If I call Anthony's name, I say Anthony. Now, my facial expression and the way I called it says something to you. If I call his name in another way, say Anthony. Now, that's my facial expression again says something to you. And if I say Anthony, the way I said it, my tone and my facial expression also, because you are seeing it, says it in different ways. So how have you been communicating what you want to say? That's why they're not getting it. That's why, let me say, if there are ladies here, let me say this. This is so important. Let me say, this is very important. I need to drop this here. Listen to me, please. Every time, for those that are married here, you need to hear this. Now, every time for the women, every time you say something over and over and over again to the man, something in his brain, science says, something in his brain numbs. So he records it as nagging. I hope you got that. This is scientifically proven. Every time you keep saying one thing over and over and over and over and over, in the man's brain, it's recorded as nagging. So he shuts down. So he's not hearing again. He just doesn't hear anymore. And then when you ask him, I said this that time, he said, I didn't hear you. Why? Because in the brain of the man, it's short because you kept saying it over and over. Wow. Okay, let's move on from there. Let's move slide, please. Move slide, please. Please, I hope you're getting something. If you're getting something, just give me a thumbs up. Let me be certain that people are following me here. So, why communication matters? One, without communication, misunderstanding multiplies, silence becomes distance, frustration turns into resentment. I think this is supposed to come towards the end. So let's move this slide. This slide will come again. Let's move this slide because I need to get to something very critical. Please move this slide. This slide. Oh, yeah. Now, watch this. Communication is a lifeline of every relationship. No. To the first. So go back. Go back. Please go back. Please go back. Communication is a lifeline of every relationship. It is not just talking. It's not just talking. In fact, I say this for relationships. Communication is the blood of any relationship. If there is no relationship, forget it. If there's no talk, if there's no communication, there is no relationship at all. That's why we always say this when you are dating. For those that are dating, scientifically proven, every time you are dating somebody, the minute you begin to have intercourse, communication jumps out of the window. It's not because it's a biblical stance. It's reality. It is scientific. Every time you start to sleep with this person, you stop talking, you stop communicating. Because every time you meet this person again, the next thing you're thinking of, your brain tells you that we need to do this act again. So communication jumps out of the window and you're looking forward to the act. And that's what you look forward to every time you meet the person, individual. So there's no more communication and you're not talking deep stuff. And then when you now marry, you now realize that there are many things you don't know about this individual because while you were still dating, you were busy in the course, in the intercourse, rather than actually asking courses. You were in the intercourse rather than asking certain courses or taking courses or talking or discussing. And you were not discussing. Now, what this? It is not simply exchanging words, it is exchanging meaning, emotion, perspective. Great relationships are not built on the absence of conflicts, but on the ability to communicate through it with honesty, empathy, and grace. Where communication thrives, connection strengthens. Where communication thrives, connection strengthens. This is the issue. Where there is communication, there is connection. There is connection. And this is so powerful. That's why we always tell singles, hold yourself, have control, have control. When you marry, you will have enough time. But you see, today it's all over the internet. Everybody is saying sex is selling so well. And so everything you want to buy one toothpaste, there's a naked girl. You want to buy toothbrush, one boy with broad chest and 6 biceps. And it's all sex is selling. But you see, because the world is pushing this thing down into the singles' mind. Hey, do it. But you see, let me tell you something. If you are about to do this thing with somebody now, and the person tells you, before we get down with this drill, I have AIDS, what will you do? There will be control immediately. Control will come. There will be immediate control because something in your brain tells you, AIDS, I can't go there. So that means everybody has the ability to control. Control is there. You only need to exercise it. But many people do not exercise it because of what? They need to quickly get that thing. I need to get there quickly. I need to calm down. If the person tells you they have AIDS, will you go ahead? No, you will not. I've counseled people, and I honestly, we need to help people to that point. That's why you must keep yourselves. This is not biblical now. This is scientific. You must keep yourselves till you marry. There's something about the honeymoon. There is something beautiful about the honeymoon. If not, don't leak all the honey before the moon comes. Don't leak all the honey before the time. If not, trust is. Let me don't go there. Let me move from here. Please, can you move slide? Please move slide. Please, let's move slide. Let's move slide. It's so much I always say. Okay, so a component of communication is number one, listening to understand. Listen to understand. And I have a particular diagram I have. Can we move slide, please? I have a diagram that will help us, listen to understand. And this is where a lot of us really are. Let's move the slide. Now, this is it's called the levels of listening. And I hope you can see this on the screen. Now, the first one is superficial listening. This is where you are listening with half of your ear. In other words, ignoring what's being said or distracted while listening. In other words, you're on your phone. You're doing something on your phone. You're on your phone playing, and then you're saying, I'm hearing you. It's a lie. You're running. You're not hearing the person. You are not hearing. You are on your phone. You are not listening to what the person is saying. And this is what we call superficial listening. Second one is called listening to speak. Now, this is because I listen one side of the ear. And what's this? Preparing what you are going to say, writing, waiting to interrupt. And this is where a lot of us are. We find ourselves there. You are listening because you really I want to give you a piece of my mind. See, listen to me. If you keep giving a piece of your mind, you may lose your mind very soon. So stop giving a piece of your mind, because this is where a lot of people are. You are preparing what you are going to say without being interrupted. You are writing it up. So you're not listening to what the person is saying. You are listening to have points to actually, attack the person back. And that's not listening. The third one, which we find ourselves in, is listening to evaluate, judging what's being said against your existing frame of reference. In other words, do I agree? What's incorrect here? You are listening because you want to correct what they are saying. Sometimes people do that. You are listening, that talking to you, you are trying to correct their English. What's that got to do with what they're trying to say? You have become English teacher. You are not trying to correct the English teacher, what they said. Calm down. Listen to what this person is saying. Then, of course, they will now have this one, which the next two are very important, which is listening to empathize. You are listening to understand not only what's being said, but what's not said. You are listening not only to hear what is being said, but what is not. Because when someone is talking to you, they are saying something deep within them. You need to listen to what is not being said. What is not being said that they are saying. And this is very important. And that is an empathizing listening. You are listening to hear and empathize with them. And then this last one is very deep and very powerful, which is listening as one. In other words, you understand this individual. When they've spoken, you understand what they have just said. And you are elaborating what they've just said to you. You are explaining what they said, and they'll tell you, you just got it. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you hear someone say that to you, that you just got it, this is exactly what I'm saying. You are now one with them. If they don't say that, you are not yet one. This is an act. Listening is powerful. In fact, listening is gold. A lot of ladies are going to sweat off their feet because somebody listens well to them. I'm telling you. And some guys too as well. Either the wife is not listening and the woman is not listening, but somebody listened, and that listening caught their attention, and they decide to stay with that person instead of their other person, because somebody was listening. Someone is listening. Are you a listener, or do you like to talk more? Let's move slide, please. Now, good communication is not just honesty. It is graceful honesty. The goal is clarity without cruelty, truth without trauma. Speaking truth in love means expressing how you feel without belittling the other person. Without belittling. You see, every time you belittle people, first thing I can tell you is this: you have wounds in your life. First of all, you have wounds, you need to deal with them. And secondly, you need to be in this class more and listen deep. Secondly, it's correcting without condemning. We all will correct people, but you're correcting without condemning them, and then sharing concerns without attacking character. Using I feel statements instead of you always. Remember, some of you always say you always, or you never. Rather, it's best to say I feel. So tone matters, timing matters, and intent matters. Now, that's the statement I made right now is too powerful. A lot of you, sometimes you don't discern the right time to say some things. There's a right time. It's not when the person is watching Arsenal match. You now want to talk deep talk. No, that's the wrongest time. They won't even listen to you. In fact, one of the things I always tell my wife: don't talk to me when I'm watching a movie. Because when I watch a movie, I'm inside the movie. I'm playing the movie with them. Don't be talking to the person when the person is watching Arsenal match or one of the league. That's not the timing to talk serious matters. No, timing is important, and your intent is also key. You must make sure your intent is not to manipulate. Say the right thing the right way at the right time. And I love this statement by something. Can you move slide? This statement is very powerful. A wise man once said, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver." That's awesome, powerful. A word. So when you are just saying the right words at the right time, man, the person just feels you are here. You are it's as if you're in my mind. You just pick the words out of my heart, and that's what it is like. And it takes you to be much more, to be a listener, to discern more, and to understand the right time to say some things. All right, can we move on? Can we move the slide, please? Oh, now the next one under this, we have this. We are still on C, and we're still going to the other ones. Create emotional safety. Now I'm going to try a rush. People do not open up where they feel judged, dismissed, mocked, or weaponized, and that's the truth. Emotional safety is created when vulnerability is respected, mistakes are forgiven, feelings are allowed, not punished. Boundaries are honored. Boundaries are honored. And that is so important. Stop picking the phone of the individual. You are not CIA or FBI. Every time on the phone, what's going on here? Stop it. Boundaries. Opinions can differ without hostility. Opinions. People are more open to you when they feel these things. Like when you move the slide. Let's move slide, please. Again, create emotional safety. When someone feels safe with you, they speak more. When they feel safe with you, they trust more. They love deeper. Emotional safety turns conversations into connection and connections into intimacy. So, and this is it. People will feel safe around you. That's why you see sometimes people at a certain level of their career don't feel safe talking to some people. Because can they trust you? Can your boss trust you with some information? Can your boss, because this also applies to us professionally, can your boss trust you with some information? This is why I can't talk to you and he prefers talking to his driver, is because his driver can keep things much more than you can. They are more safer. Let me leave that. That's another thing for another day. Let's move on. Can we move slide, please? Thank you. Now this is where this why communication matters, because why misunderstandings multiply if you don't communicate right. Silence becomes distance, frustration turns into resentment, small issues become big explosions. With healthy communication, conflicts turn into clarity, challenges turn into teamwork, feelings are processed, not suppressed, love becomes fuller and stronger. Communication isn't a gift, it is a discipline. It's a skill you practice daily in friendships, dating, marriage, and leadership. You see, you never graduate from this school of communication until you die. You keep learning better ways of communicating with the people around your life, around your space, either your workplace, your bosses, your colleagues. You must learn better ways of communicating with them. You know, many people don't have good relationships today because they don't know how to communicate well. Can we move on from there? Let's go to the next one. It's okay. There's a question here. Am I listening to win or to understand? Do my words heal or harm? Can people be honest with me without fear? Do I communicate openly or do I shut down and withdraw? Do I communicate to connect or to control? Hallelujah. Can we move on? Sorry, I'm a pastor, so if I say hallelujah, I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me. So the next one is T. The T is trust. This is so important. This is T. T is trust. T is trust. Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted? Okay, don't worry, we'll take the questions after. Let me not be done with this. We'll take the question. We'll take a question, no problem. Look at this by Stephen R. Covey. Stephen R. said, trust is the glue of life. Man, that's deep. Trust is the glue of life. Without no trust, nothing glues. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. It's the foundational principle that holds all relationships. Bob Van Urek says, trust is built when someone is vulnerable and not taken advantage of. Whenever you take advantage of people, they can't trust you. They can't trust you again. William Shakespeare said this, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. This is by William Shakespeare. Can we go on with the slide now? Let's go with the slide. Thank you. Now, trust is the invisible currency. Trust is the, don't worry, just write your questions down. We will deal with them. Trust is the invisible currency that sustains every meaningful relationship. Friendships, romantic relationships, business partners, and marriage. When trust is present, relationship flourish. When it is broken, relationship fracture. When there's no trust again, honestly, there's fracture in the relationship. It could be a marriage relationship or a partnership relationship, a business partnership. Trust is not built by promises, it is built by patterns. This is very important for us to understand. It's not built by promises, it is built by patterns. It is not demanded, it is earned, protected, and nurtured. You see, it takes a lifetime to build trust. It takes one action to crack it up, one action to destroy it. It takes a lifetime to build trust. It takes one action to destroy it. We must be careful. Can I depend on you emotionally, spiritually, relationally, and practically? This is the question you must ask yourself. Ask yourself, can people depend on you? Can you be dependent on? Can we depend on you? If your answer is shaky, you need to become someone that can be dependent upon. You need to build this thing called trust. Can we move slide now? Can we move slide? Thank you. Now, under trust, there are components too as well. First of all, we have consistency, the evidence of character. People trust what they see repeatedly, not what they hear occasionally. Consistency looks like showing up when it matters, one, following through on commitments, two, being the same person in private and public. Don't be two-faced, be original. Keeping relational effort steady, not only when convenient, demonstrating emotional steadiness, not unpredictable behavior. Consistency builds security. Inconsistency builds uncertainty. Little acts done repeatedly mean more than occasional grand gestures. Trust grows in moments, patterns, and habits. Consistency over time is more powerful than intensity once in a while. Can you see that? This is so powerful. So once you are consistent over time, it is much more powerful than one intense intensity of an act. I mean, people look at patterns. Once there is a consistency, it builds a strong and formidable character. Can we move? I'm trying to stay that this is a heavy. I don't want to stay on it because of time. Now, secondly, integrity. This is so key. Integrity. I say this, and this is very important. Today, integrity is now a currency. Integrity now is a currency. This is a value currency now in our today climate, because people are no longer here anymore. People now cut corners, people now do all sorts of things. They cut corners, and also this is so important. Now, integrity means your words and actions align. It is being truthful, ethical, and accountable when no one is watching. When no one is watching you, how are you? Are you the same or are you something else? Now, integrity looks like telling the truth even when it's uncomfortable. This is heavy, Abby. It's telling you when it's not comfortable. A lot of people sometimes they go and they always say footballer age. What is that? That is not integrity. The day they catch you, you will just, people use all sorts of things. Again, integrity looks like owning your mistakes rather than hiding them. Integrity looks like correcting wrongs instead of covering them, being transparent, not secretive, making choices that honor your values and others' dignity. Making choices that honor your values and others' dignity. In other words, you are not bringing someone's dignity down. You are valuing it. Now, where there is deception, manipulation, or double life behavior, trust dies quickly. Where there is deception, manipulation, or double life behavior, trust dies quickly. Integrity creates trust. Secrecy destroys it. Hallelujah. Can we move on? Can we move the slide, please? This is another component of trust: reliability, the strength of dependability. Can you be dependent on? Can I depend on you? Can I depend on you? Esther, can I depend on you? Tony, can I depend on you? This is so important. See, reliability means someone can count on you, not just emotionally, but practically. It means you do what you say when you say it. You don't make promises you can't keep. People don't have to guess whether you are dependable. You show up in storms, not only in sunshine. You follow through when responsibility calls. This is integrity. Even the good book, the Bible says a brother is born in adversity. So when there are issues in your life, who can you depend on? Let me tell you the truth. A lot of us don't have friends. There are some of us that we need to actually start, open our contact book and start deleting some people. Just start deleting them, because these people cannot be depended on. Rather, they are depending too much on you. You are being the dependent part of. They always depend on you so much. And this one, they can't be dependent on you. They have become a leech and parasite in your life. See, before you die, you need to find a way. There are some relationships you need to give up on. I'm telling you, yes, I agree. There are some relationships don't give up. You can't keep trying to make it work. Let it go. Let it go. What I say, let it go. Let it go. If not, you could die. You are not El Shaddai. If not, you shall die. Calm down. Okay, reliability builds emotional safety. Unreliability builds resentment and insecurity. Love may start a relationship. Are you seeing that there? Love may start a relationship, but reliability sustains it. It takes reliability to sustain that relationship. So you can love someone and you can start something, but what sustains it is reliability. Can we move slide, please? Oh, Lord God. Why does this matter? Again, every conversation feels suspicious. Without trust, vulnerability becomes dangerous. Without trust, mistakes become accusations. Without trust, intimacy becomes impossible. With trust, communication deepens, vulnerability feels safe, and teamwork becomes natural. Love and loyalty becomes effortless. Trust isn't perfection. Get that? The trust isn't perfection. It's faithfulness in progress. It's not I never fail, but I never stop trying, learning, and correcting. This is so important for you to know. We're not talking perfection here. It's faithfulness in progress. I am progressing. I am trying. I'm learning every day, and I'm getting better at it. And God, okay, I'm not in church. I'm here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead again. Now ask yourself, my actions match my words? Am I consistent or unpredictable? Do people feel safe fighting in me? If they don't, then there's a problem with you. Do people feel safe? Do I hide things or live transparently? Do I keep commitment or make excuses? If you're always making excuses and not keeping to commitments, this is a problem. You need to deal with it. Good relationships are not built on intentions. They are built on reliability and truth. Let's move slide. We've dealt with awareness, we've dealt with communication, we've dealt with trust. Now this is respect. In the RS, this is respect. Now let's move slide, please. Let's look at some quotes here. Again, Gary Chapman says this: respect begins. Gary Chapman is the one that wrote the 5 love languages. You can get that book. It's very important, powerful. Please get that book and read it. It's a good book for anybody to read. Respect begins with this attitude: I acknowledge your worth. I acknowledge your worth. Respect begins with this attitude: I acknowledge. You must acknowledge people's worth. Nobody is worthless. everybody was designed and created by a powerful being. Never ever discredit any human being. Everybody has a worth. Albert Einstein says everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. This is so important for those that actually watch Nigerian Idol. That's a side joke. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. Don't idolize anybody, but everyone should be respected as an individual. Then Hubert Humphrey says the right to be heard does not automatically include the right to be taken seriously. The right to be heard does not automatically include the right to be taken seriously. And this is very deep and powerful. In other words, it means everybody can be heard, but if you are saying something rubbish, if you are saying something nonsense, I don't have to take you seriously. I don't really have to take you seriously, but I should hear you. I should hear you. And that's what he was trying to say there. Okay, let's move on. Now, respect is the atmosphere. I like this because it's an atmosphere. That's why people always say this: go to where you are celebrated, because wherever you are celebrated, it means you are respected. If many people always go to where they are tolerated, stop going to those areas where you are tolerated. They don't respect you. That's what it means. Respect is the atmosphere in which love, friendship, and partnership thrive. It is the decision to treat others with dignity, not because of what they do, but because of who they are. In healthy relationships, respect is not an option. It is a foundation. Where there is respect, unity grows. Where there is disrespect, resentment follows. So you can see that there. Wherever there is no respect, resentment will always follow. Respect says, I see you, I value you, I honor who you are and who you are becoming. I see you, I value you, I honor who you are and who you are becoming. That's what respect says. If anyone is not doing those three things, or those three things to you, they are tolerating you. You need to leave that environment. It will not make you good. Because tell me who, I always say this, that the company you determines what accompanies you. So you must be certain of who is around you. Can we move the slide? Respect is so powerful. Respect. That's why many times, even in marriage, one of the major things that most husbands always complain about: she does not respect me. She does not respect me. Most times, as a counseled men, that is one thing they always make. They don't respect me. Now, honor in the component of respect, honor is one. Honor differences. Respect celebrates individuality. It does not try to erase it. Respect celebrates individuality. It does not try to erase it. Every person brings different experiences, different perspectives, different strengths and weaknesses, different personalities and processing styles, and different backgrounds and culture. So when these people are in your life, they come with these different things, different experiences, different perspectives. So you don't just, shun people. They have a worldview of how they are saying things. And you must try to look from their own side of worldview a little bit to know how you can actually, work with them. If not, they will feel disrespected. Let's go on. So honor differences. One, another component. Let's go on. Please move slide. Thank you. Mature relationships do not try to make others the clone of themselves. They honor uniqueness. Let me say that again for emphasis. Mature relationships do not try to make others a clone of themselves. They honor uniqueness. To honor differences means to appreciate diversity, not fear it, seek understanding before judgment, learn instead of trying to dominate, value the strengths others carry, even when they differ from you. Value the strengths. Diversity in relationship is not a threat. It is a blessing. It expands your world. Love says we. Respect says you matter. Instead of is inside the we. I'll say that again. Love says we. Respect says you matter inside the we. Hallelujah. Oh, I said hallelujah now. Another key component again is it jumps like value boundaries. This is so important. Boundaries are not walls, they are healthy fences. They define responsibility, protect peace, and preserve identity. Respecting boundaries means giving space where needed, not forcing. Ooh, you've shifted. Can you go back, please? Yeah, thank you. Honoring someone's emotional and mental limits, not manipulating, controlling, or intruding, allowing others to say no without punishment. Where boundaries are respected, trust grows. Where boundaries are violated, fear grows. Respect does not evade, it invites. It invites. Let's move the slide now. Now, another component of under respect is treat others as image bearers of God. Now, I put this here because it's important. Everybody was created by God. You know, everybody is created by God. There's one being. I mean, nobody came as a result of a big bang. I mean, man was God. God is so important here. Every human being carries divine worth. Respect roots itself in this truth. God made them, God values them, and so must I. Because God values you, you need to value others. You are valued. I want to tell everyone here listening to me, you are valued. See, regardless of wherever you are coming from, you are valued. You have something to offer this generation. You have something to offer this world. God took time to make you, and He made you very well. He didn't make you on a Monday. He made you on a Sunday. He took time to put you together. Your nose is perfect. Your eyes is perfect. Your legs is perfect. Your ears is perfect. Everything about you is perfect. Your height is perfect for what you are meant to do in this life. You are valued. I'm telling someone I need to hear this. You are valued. You are valued. You are so valued. Please never devalue yourself. Never ever tell yourself who you're not. You are valued. You are valued. I don't know why I'm staying there, but I need somebody needs to hear that. You are valued. Treat others as image bearers. Let me jump this slide. Let's just jump here. I'm trying to just rush so I can just get to. Why is this important? Respect. Without respect, love becomes suffocating and controlling. Without respect, communication turns to criticism. Without respect, marriage becomes competitive, not partnership. With respect, love feels safe. People flourish and grow. Unity is strengthened. Peace reigns in the home and relationships. Respect is more than behavior. It is posture. It is posture. If you respect people, people will respect you too. If you respect people, people will give it back to you. And you know, when you sow seeds, you reap them. But let's go ahead. Let's go to the next one. So a reflective question, which I always like people to ask is, do I speak to others with honor or criticism? Do I listen when others express needs and boundaries? Do I value differences or react to them? Do people feel safe and dignified around me? Does my behavior reflect kingdom honor? Or in any way, do my behavior reflect, the creator? All right, let's go ahead. This was the last one, which is support, friendship and support system, which is very important. Let's move into this. This is so key. Helen Keller says, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Martin Luther King Jr. says, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Very interesting, isn't it? Mother Teresa said, if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. This is so deep by Mother Teresa. Let's go ahead. Now, support is the relational structure that sustains growth, healing, and connection. Every strong relationship or marriage stands on the strength of friendship and a healthy support system. This is so key. You cannot build a lasting relationship in isolation. You cannot. Solo relationship does not work. I always tell, when I counsel couples about in premarital counseling, I always tell them, look, you can't do solo relationship. That's why it's been crumbling, because you see, someone said, a wise man once said, in the multitude of counsel there is safety. Through counsel you can wage a good warfare. You don't do solo things. You can get destroyed that way. You grow through community and you thrive through partnership. That's why you're here today. You know, healthy friendships are not just companions for fun. They are builders of character. And that's why we thank God for the Ayo Lawal Foundation, because this is building you up. This is building you up. Come on. It builds character, mirrors, you know, of growth, and anchors in life storms. I'm telling you, friendship is a soil where loyalty, empathy, and accountability takes root. Friendship is the soil where loyalty, empathy, and accountability takes root. That's so friendship is the soil. All right, let's move on. Let's go and look at the components. So the key components of this is genuine care. Real support begins with genuine care and unselfish interest in another person's well-being. Genuine care means rejoicing in others' success without envy. One, being present in pain and without judgment. Checking in, not checking out when life gets tough. Who comes into your space when life gets tough? That is someone that you need to pay attention to. Serving, not just taking. A lot of people just are takers. There are people that just takers. What are you giving back? What are you giving back? If you're a taker, you have become a leech. That's not a good place to be, because people run away from takers. Seeing people beyond their usefulness. Now, this is another area. Genuine care is not just okay, someone is useful to me. So I will use this person. No, you know, in this world we live in today, we have too many people users, too many users. People don't know how to use people and dump them. When they don't have use for you, they dump you. And that's terrible, because we're not meant to be using people. We're meant to be genuinely interested in people. Now, in friendship and marriage alike, care is not a feeling. It is a choice to act in love. It is a choice to act in love. True care doesn't wait for convenience. It shows up when needed the most. When needed the most. All right, let's move on to the next component under support. Genuine care. In marriage, this means being attentive, not dismissive, offering empathy, not quick fixes, being emotionally present, not physically absent. Love without care feels hollow. Care gives love its strength. Care gives love its strength. All right, let's move again. Move slide, please. Another component is accountability. Support is not only about comfort, it's also about correction done in love. Accountability means having friends or partners who can speak truth without fear. Do you have people that can speak the truth to you? Sometimes truth might be bitter, but it's necessary for you. Accountability also means welcoming feedback instead of resisting it, holding each other to godly standards or shared values, or to ideal standards. Encouraging growth, not enabling weakness. Encouraging growth, not enabling weakness. Calling each other higher when mediocrity tempts. Not settling for less, but going to the standard. And that's so important. Let's move on. Please, are you getting something? Just give me a thumbs up again if you're getting something. If you're there, I hope you're not. Just say, yeah. Now, healthy. Another one is accountability. Accountability. Please go back to accountability, which is a component of support. It says healthy accountability refines character, sharpens focus, and preserves destiny. It says, I care too much about you to let you self-destruct. There are a lot of people that are self-destructing. Self-destruction is going on when you see someone commit suicide. It is self-destruction. And this is what accountability says. I care too much about you to let you self-destruct. Accountability isn't control, it's care with courage. In marriage, accountability looks like mutual transparency, shared decisions, and humility to admit wrongs and make amends. If you are an individual that doesn't know how to admit wrongs, then there is something wrong somewhere. All right, let's move on. Another key component is loyalty and encouragement under support. Loyalty is the backbone of true friendship and the heartbeat of covenant relationship. Loyalty means standing firm when others walk away, protecting others' reputation in their absence, being constant, not conditional, offering encouragement instead of criticism, defending the relationship from gossip, betrayal, and disloyalty. defending the relationship from gossip, betrayal. Now, loyalty and encouragement again is encouragement fuels resilience. It reminds people they are seen, valued, and capable. In every relationship, your words can either build walls or build wings. Loyal friends and loyal spouses build wings. Loyalty says, I am for you even when life is against you. I am for you even when life is against you. And that's so important. All right. Let's move slide, please. I think I'm coming to the end of it. So without support, what happens? Relationship becomes one-sided. Isolation breeds misunderstanding. Stress goes unshared. Hearts grow weary. Marriages become performance instead of partnership. With support, you experience safety, belonging. You grow through feedback and encouragement. You carry each other's burdens with grace. Love deepens through shared strength. Support is both spiritual and practical. It is prayer in action, presence in pressure, and partnership in purpose. All right, let's move to wrapping it up. So the reflection you must ask yourself is: do I show genuine care, or do I withdraw when it's convenient? Am I open to accountability, or do I resist correction? Can I be trusted to stand by others through highs and lows? Do I encourage or do I criticize? Am I a friend who builds or one who drains? If one of these questions tugged your heart, then it's something you need to pay attention to. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the slide. The next slide. Okay, so the summary is the five pillars of relation I'm giving today. Act RS, act right, thrive strong. And A again is awareness, know and master yourself. C is communication, speak truth with grace. T is trust, build consistency, integrity and reliability. R is respect, protect dignity and honor differences. S is support, and that's
no need
and loyalty. Together, these pillars form the blueprint for strong relationships and marriages that reflect wisdom, maturity, and divine order. At this junction, I will say is done. Thank you. All right.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Fantastic. In fact, you said a lot. Because of time, I will just go straight to the questions. But before we start asking people to, unmute themselves to say questions, let me start by reading out one or two questions in the chat room. There's a question from Nurse Doc. Nurse Doc,
yes, I know.
Yeah, says, when someone keeps saying sorry and he turned that to excuses, what can you do to ignore that word because it doesn't count again? That's one. Then two, it says, why do men run away from home? They believe to hang out with friends that sit with family. I want to know, she's asking. Then number three, Nurse Doc says, why can't we forgive our ex? How can you ignore people's hurts and forgive them? From Nurse, I don't know if you got that, sir.
I'm seeing it. Okay, good. Okay, let me. Should I go ahead and answer?
Yes, please do. Just go and round it off. All
right. So briefly, when someone keeps saying sorry and he turns into an excuse, I'm sure that's what they're trying to say. What can you do to ignore that words because it doesn't count again? Now, of course, when someone actually keeps giving excuses, and of course, it's become a broken record, that's already a challenge. That's a problem with character in itself. Now, is one thing you can literally do is bring this thing, have a conversation. Have a conversation with this person and discuss it. That every time and bring this thing into the light, that you always give these excuses and you always say, I'm sorry. And it's becoming a broken record. It's like as if you're not trying to do anything about it. They are not intentional about the relationship. Now, you need to understand, if you're not married to this person, you need to now realize that you can either do two things. You can give them another chance, that, okay, please, you keep saying these things and it keeps happening. You keep coming back again with excuses and excuses. It shows that you are not intentional about this relationship. So please, can you become more intentional? Now, if you realize that this, after you've talked about it, it keeps happening I'm telling you, you probably need to actually put some kind of distance in that relationship, because they don't value you. That's what it means. They don't really value you in that sense. And that's a problem for you. If you go ahead with that person and you marry the person, you will keep hearing excuses, even in the marriage. But if you are already married to the individual, now you need to prayerfully bring, and you've spoken a lot, you need to prayerfully take that to a therapist. I mean, you need to go to either to a therapist and see somebody and bring that situation, because this has to stop, because it's becoming a pattern already, and it's not a good pattern. And maybe the person needs to be spoken with, and the person needs to open up why they are saying why they do what they do, and that's very important. That's for those, if you are married to that person already, or if it's your boss that is the one that is always saying sorry. I want to believe this has to do with relationship. I'm not thinking, that's why I'm answering that way. The next one is, why do men run away from home? They believe to hang out with friends, that sit with family. That I agree with you. A lot of times men are not always in the house. Now this goes way back to the foundational stage. Now, first things first, when you guys were dating, I mean, were you friends? Because if you are friends, if you guys are good friends, you are good friends, there is no way the person wants to go out there to meet friends when he can be your friend and talk with you. But you haven't built a relationship. A lot of times people are not friends. They don't build a relationship very well. Then they now come into marriage, and then you're not trying to do courtship. And that's where it's wrong. You need to have built friendship. Most times I always advise you marry your friend, because your friend, you build friendship. This is the person you talk with, you gist with, and all that. It will not erode away the reality that they have friends they see hang out with. But once they are married to you, they understand that you are now my friend. Now, if you're already married to this individual, what you can do, and I can assure you, what you can do is, if they are going out to go and meet other friends, follow them if you can. I told somebody, look, I told one lady one time, the guy goes clubbing and let's go. Hey, follow the man to his club, to the club. Me, follow him to the club. Hang out with him there. He will see you and follow you. I want to go to the club too and speak and spend time with you. You follow him there. While you are there, he see you, because there are certain things. There are certain things, you know. Their vices they actually get endangered with in those places. But if you are there with them, they are seeing you more in that space. There's a tendency that something in their brain tells them, no, I won't do this. Oh yeah, let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go. So they have to now have the nature to spend more time with you. You know. So if they're hanging out with the friends, okay, then you try to go out with them sometimes, and then create some date nights that you go out to. Create a lot of couples today, they don't create date nights again. You are married and you become boring. You just marry and then you become very boring. Nothing's happening, no date night. You know, until you have plenty money, just go somewhere together. Find time. Just go somewhere. You know, when you create that pattern, it will eventually become something that is part and parcel of it. This man he's looking for something called fun. The man is looking for something called fun. That's where he's running to go and meet his friends. He's looking for hangouts. And again, ask yourself this question: is he feeling stressed in the house? Are you stressing him? Is that the reason why he's going out? But if it's a habit of his that goes out every time, then it can be corrected. Talk about it. Talk about it. Everything can be dealt with communication. I'm telling you, talk about it, bring it again to him, and you guys can discuss that. I hope I've dealt with that. Then why can't we forgive our ex? How can you ignore people hurt? This question is very interesting. Why can't we forgive our ex?
Why can't we forgive our ex? How can you ignore people's hurts and forgive them? I think that's what the person. That's what was talking saying.
Forgive our ex. I believe it's an ex.
Yeah,
is he
forgive our ex friend, maybe ex husband or ex wife.
No. Really,
ex girlfriend. Sorry,
ex girlfriend. Now it depends on what you should forgive. You should forgiveness should be your bank account. Forgiveness should be, because if what you don't forgive can haunt you. Let me say it another way. When you don't forgive, it creates bitterness in you. And once bitterness is created in you, it can produce something unhealthy to your system. It can produce something unhealthy to you. I know a lady that actually had a very traumatic relationship. And it was so traumatic, it affected her emotionally, and she fell sick. And the doctors did everything they could. Drugs was not working. It tells you that our body is very, very, very connected with our emotions. Doctor did everything, the drugs was not working. And one day the doctor went to go and study again and discovered that this ailment happens with people that actually are emotionally stressed. And the doctor came to me and said, look, madam, sorry to disturb you. Did anybody hurt you? Did anybody do anything wrong to you? Please forgive them. Just forgive them so you can be free. And the lady was like, wow, this was not a pastor telling her this, this was a doctor telling her. And she's broke and started crying. And then discussions ensued there with her and the doctor. And right there and then she forgave the person. Bullseye, the drugs began to work. Drugs are not working. So there are some drugs that are not work when you have more unforgiveness. Because unforgiveness is a toxic, it's toxins in your body. It begins to affect you. And that is dangerous to your health eventually. So please forgive people. Don't hold on to anybody. Forgive them. And how do you know you're forgiving them? Can you pray for them? I always tell people this. Can you really pray for them? Remember, I will bring Jesus here. Forgive me. Remember what he did on the cross. Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. Forgive them. You were killing Jesus. Didn't they know what they're doing? They didn't know what they were doing, no? But Jesus, he said, Father, forgive them. Forgiveness is divine and it's so powerful.
Thank
and
you
you
so
need
much.
to.
Thank you, sir. There's a question, a follow-up question, and it's by BC Owoduni. Before I take Adenike, because of time, she said, we should forgive an ex. I think she's trying to say, should we forgive an ex that impregnated another woman, sir? She now continued and said, I don't know if it's a male. They are not married yet, but fixed wedding date and did that. This is serious, madam.
This is very serious, but this is very serious. Now we should forgive an ex that impregnated another. Okay, now if an ex impregnated another woman, now that means I want to believe they're not married yet. Now the person has obviously broken trust already. For you to go and have an affair with somebody, that means you're having an affair with somebody else. That's it. You're having an affair with them, so you've broken trust. Please, for the other party that is the one that is the person, please let go. Let go. Forgive the person. Because it can haunt you and it will be a wound in you. And you know what we begin to do? If you don't forgive that person, when you enter another relationship that is kind of good, you will begin to always have suspicion in that person. And you're always having suspicion, be carrying person's phone, checking who are you talking to now. Because why? Somebody has done something hurting to you. So you are only going to be hurting people, because hurting people hurt people. Hurting people hurt people. So for you not to be hurting again, you need to let go and forgive the person. It will be painful, and you might need therapy. Sincerely, for this person, BC, you maybe it's you or somebody else, you probably might need therapy, for how you to forgive the person, because forgiveness can be a process, because it's painful. You don't want to let go. You probably invested so much, and I can feel that pain, in you writing this thing. But the honest truth is that you need to let go. If not, you will hold yourself back. Now, they are not married yet, yes, but fixed wedding date. And if that happens, you don't need to marry the person again. See, you don't need to marry this person again. Sincerely, you're not yet married. If you're married, it's a different case. But if you're not yet married, you don't have to marry the person again. If the person has gotten pregnant, you know what that means? That's breaking the trust. How do I trust you even while we're married? How do I trust you? If you're not married, good. You are still free to go. You can crack up the relationship at there and then. Because why? You have broken the trust. And because you will always keep seeing this person every time, it will keep remembering, it will be tormenting you. You don't want to go into that space.
Wow. Thank you.
You can just let go.
Thank you, sir. Then there's this question by Adenike. In a situation whereby the woman is the breadwinner of the house and the man is not giving the woman attention in the house, there's no communication in the marriage, and the man is requesting for respect from the woman, but never value or respect the woman either, and this always bring argument and fight. What can the woman do to bring peace to the home? Serious question.
This is another sensitive one. And sincerely, Adenike, I really, whoever the person is that you're writing for, or if it's you, I want to actually applaud you for doing what you've been doing. Doing, because there's a statement in the scriptures. I have to tell that to you, because I wish I knew it in the other part. I'd have said it in this. It says, do not be weary of well doing, for you reap. Now, every time you're doing something for a husband, so to say, let me say this to you categorically. I've seen it happen many times. God will reward you. Sincerely, God will reward you. Now, first is first. Now, I understand the man keeps talking about respect. I want to believe that you the arguments that are ensuing and coming up is the result of the fact that you're getting tired and you're getting, frustrated with the fact that you are the one carrying the load. And I understand that, because no woman is built to carry that load. It is the man's responsibility to do certain things, but once the man is not meeting up to his, responsibility, then the woman comes in and she's putting so much, she's doing a lot, and the man is not doing anything. First things first, I would like you to do, first of all, is you need to first of all get yourself to a place of being healed first, because you are already too hurt in this particular marriage. You are too hot and too disenfranchised that even discussing with him can create more problems. So first things first, because you need to discuss with him in a certain way that will make him really understand, because communication, I will bring it again, comes to play here. Because how you've been communicating with him, I don't know. How you've been discussing with him, I don't have a clear understanding of that. But you need to first of all get yourself to a place where you get settled. First things first, thank God is blessing you, and you are still doing a lot in that marriage. You are still bringing in money, and the money has not stopped coming. Money is still coming. God is still blessing you, and God will keep blessing you in the name of Jesus. God will keep blessing you, because I don't know whether you have children. If you have children, then there's certain things. But you first of all have to communicate with him first. I always say couples need to come to peace now, but you have been arguing and there's fight already going on. So that means you are not really getting the communication, passing well. So I will recommend both of you go for a therapy or go to see a counselor. I will recommend that. It's so important, because you are at a junction whereby you need to actually see someone to talk with. And if you want to actually see someone, I'm a counselor. You can come and see me at Mr. Lawal can give you the address. Come around and let's talk. First of all, let me talk with you, and I need to talk with you first. Then of course, after that, I will now tell you what you can begin to do in that sense with him. Because I will now need to see him too as well, and then we can talk. But you need to actually see, because I can feel your pain from your writing.
Wow, thank you so much. Our time is fast spent, but let me read one more question, and I will also ask any one of us that want to ask a question to unmute yourself. But before then, let me just read out this question by Oluwaseun Akimbode. It is a question. It says, I know there's a difference between forgiveness and forbearance, but what in a situation when one spouse who knows the husband or wife's heart is soft and forgives easily and takes it with levity, does the man or woman need to keep forbearing, or how can they fix it?
Now, I love this question. This is very interesting. This is where somebody is being taken for granted, and that is the truth. Somebody is being taken for granted, and somebody is undervalued, and this is not right, because it takes two to make it work. Can two work together except they agree? Now, I want the party that feels devalued to speak up. Please don't keep quiet. You need to speak up, talk about it, and every time you do things, I forgive you, but you are taking these things for granted, really, and it's not fair on my side, and you keep doing the same thing to me. So you need to discuss it first of all, have that communication with that person, and let them know. Most times people are not saying things. You are feeling the pain. You are the one that is getting the whole hurt, and you're not talking. You need to talk about it. Find a conducive time, like I mentioned in the slides. You need to find a timing that you can actually pass this message across well. that they will not misconstrue you and they won't feel any way, but let them know that I am feeling devalued. I am feeling devalued in this relationship. Yes, I am feeling devalued, and I need us to come to a place where we can I can feel valued again here. And then you mention certain things, because it's very important you make your heart known to this person, because you don't want to be taken for granted. Nobody loves it, nobody likes it, and that's not fair. It's not good for you to be devalued in a relationship whereby you need to be valued. And if after discussing that nothing seems to be working again, then I think you can take it a step further by seeing a therapist or seeing a counselor that can help you. But that's
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Our time is fast spent. Does anybody have any additional question? If you want to ask the speaker directly, please just indicate by raising up your hand so we can unmute you, or you unmute yourself. Just one person. Okay. Since we don't have any other question, I think we can call it a day. From
any community around struggling and in need of help, maybe they lack water or basic resources, the Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most.
What is that? My handle. Okay. Hello. Have you called it a day?
Yes, ma.
Yes, I just have a question to ask. Can I go ahead?
We have.
Okay, there's no problem. Another time.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Now, Mrs. Oluwakemi Lawa will be taking the vote of thanks. Please go ahead, Mrs. Oluwakemi. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Oluwakemi Lawa. It is a great privilege to deliver the vote of thanks at the end of this impactful mentorship rendezvous session today. Wow. On behalf of the Lawal Empowerment Foundation, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude first to our amazing mentor in the person of Mr. Paul Briggs. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking us on this journey. Thank you for the share of invaluable knowledge. Thank you for learning from your well of wisdom. Thank you for every inspiration you have dropped to our hearts today. Thank you. We appreciate you. We are saying God bless you, sir. And I believe that for every of your words that has been taught today, it has truly impacted everyone here. I'm so certain. And I'm sure that we have learned from your well of wisdom, and it's going to help us in building a healthy connection and relationship, which is the theme of this session today. To all our wonderful participants, we are saying thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your openness to learn. Thank you for your time spent here with us. We are saying thank you. We are not taking any for granted. We believe that mentorship thrives on connection, and today we have seen the power of shared experience and learning. As we live here today, may the lessons learned here today be turned into action and impact every of our lives today in Jesus' name. Once again, I would like to say thank you for being part of today's wonderful section. Thank you all, and do have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night rest. Bye-bye.
You know any community around struggling and in need of help, maybe they lack water or basic resources, the Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most. know any community around struggling and in need of help, maybe they lack water or basic resources, the Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best, but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most. Any community around struggling and in need of help, maybe they lack water or basic resources, the Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best, but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most. Do you know any community around struggling and in need of help, maybe they lack water or basic resources, the Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best, but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most.